Hello, this is another audio video rather than another PC one. This is just to try and help people that maybe had problems trying to get hold of some replacement pads for the Audeze headset. This is the LCD2, these are the F1s. Love them since the day I got them, amazing. But my pads, you can see on the edge, because these are the vegan ones, started to fray. Let's peel all off. I'll still probably get another year, maybe even 2 years out of these. But I wanted to get hold of some for in the meantime, for whenever that day happens, or if it happens sooner. Just want to have some replacements ready. So I tried to find some. They stopped making these. You cannot get the vegan pads anymore. They have brought out a new line in 2020. So I thought, well, get hold of the original ones. Made by the original manufacturers. They came and they're terrible. They're thinner, they're not as comfortable. They alter the sound, even by making things a bit thinner or the hole just a little bit bigger or less, and changing the actual dust shield material can all alter the sound, and it's more noticeable if you've got a really good set of headphones. Little detail, you can tell the difference. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that you suffer with if you're a bit of an audiophile. You can notice subtle changes. So yeah, the new style ones went straight back. I'm not happy with those. Then I've seen a company called Deconi. They've been doing pads for lots of different types of headphones. They're doing like a suede, a hybrid one, soft leather, harder leather, synthetic. Is it the festorated? I can't remember how you actually say that one. Basically, it's the ones with all the little holes in as well. So I actually tried a few different pairs to see if one of them would actually give the same kind of like sound as to what I'm used to with these. And the answer is no. They use a slightly thicker foam in the inside, and because of that, sound doesn't pass out as easy. And what happens is with some of the leather ones, though you get an extra bass, but it was getting muddy round the lower end, and you were losing some of the mids, and that was noticeable straight away. They were not as comfortable. The holes in the centre were not as big. Now that wasn't a problem for my ears, but the problem is when you start making this smaller on the inside, is that it alters the soundstage, and it was really noticeable, to the point of there's no way I was going to keep any of them. I just wasn't happy with them. I was at a loss as to what to do, so I started trying to track down places that might have old stock of these, even if it meant having to pay like over the odds, but cannot find them for love nor money. No one willing to part with them because you can't get them anymore. And then I happened to see actually I'd seen them once before, but I wrote them off straight away because I put them down to like being a cheapy kind of like Chinese knockoff kind of company. But in the end, I thought, oh, what the hell, nothing to lose. So I got it's rattling around in there. It's AHG, and it's I'm not entirely sure where the company's based or anything. I think it's a Chinese based company, but yeah, they were like half the price, and I wasn't holding out much hope for them. I did see some good reviews, and when they came, the first thing I noticed is that, see if I can line these up. Really should use a tripod. Is they're a little bit thinner, and the material feels a little bit different. Now, they are very comfortable, and it does give way as easy as well, not quite as easy, but almost as easy. But these ones, the Deconi ones, didn't. They were a lot tougher when you put them on. They weren't as comfortable. So that was one thing to notice. It's like, they actually feel almost as comfortable as these. The hole in the middle is almost the same as well. So I put them on, give them a go, and because they use, I'm going to say it's probably a cheaper foam on the inside, the sound passes through the way it does on the original ones. Not quite as much, but it's almost there. And the other thing I noticed was that the the sub bass in these was slightly lacking with these new ones, these AHG. And the one thing I noticed in the past was that if you actually look through the dust shield on there, the material, you can maybe see it on the cable there, you can see that my silver toxic cable there, and you can see it's pretty much the same there, almost the same. But when these first come out the box, that is a lot harder to see through. And the reason for that is because, and the way I got around it, it's not pretty, but it works, is that I stretched this material. So basically pulled up a chunk of it there, moved it across, then stitched it. So you can't actually see it on that side. It doesn't affect the sound. But what that did is all the kind of denseness of the dust shield material got pulled out, making the holes and everything else a little bit bigger to try and match what these ones were. And I just thought it was going to be a wacky thing to try. So I've tried that on both of them, and lo and behold, the sub bass, which was missing, is back. So yeah, these, if you do that, are as close as I can find as to what the original vegan pads are. They're not exactly the same. They're I would say 95% of the way there. Whereas like the Daconis and the original Audeze, I would say they're probably somewhere in the region of maybe 70-80% of what the original sound was. Now some people might use those pads and like the sound, how it changes them, where it maybe takes off some of the highs, and maybe with some of the Dakota ones it actually adds more bass. They might like that and not mind like some of the muddiness in the sound. But for me, if you want how the original vegan pads sound, then these AHG, I'll stick a link in the thing, is as close as I've found. There might be something else out there, but sound signature wise, these for me are the best. And they certainly are once you actually do that kind of bit of a hack thing where you pull that across and then they're putting that on there. And because the other thing is what I'll actually do is, because these aren't going to go on until the original ones die a death, but when these do, the material on the inside, because it is still slightly different, is that will be removed, and then I'm going to try and sweet talk the wife into stitching that onto there, in the hope that that will bring them as close as damn it as to what these sound like. Right, well that's me rambling on about ear pads anyway, but it's just for anyone who had the same problems I had with trying to actually find some decent pads for the LCDs. But these will fit the 2, 3 and 4s. I'm not sure about the X, but they certainly don't fit the LCD ones anyway. Right, bye.